It's been an interesting week for Nigeria, with confirmation of the new INEC Chairman, Professor Joash Omapititan, by the Senate, to the decision by the trial court that Nnamdi Kanu is healthy enough to stand trial. Also, there is a protest that is precipitating on the 20th. And of course, there are defection issues regarding the governor of Enugu State, Peter Mbah, who, in a carnival-like atmosphere, moved to the APC with his cabinet and local government chairman. The Bayelsa State Governor, Douye Diri, has also announced his defection to the APC. But there is a twist. His deputy governor, Awujare, he says he is not joining the APC with the governor. Ditto for Senator Siraka Dixon, who also comes from River State. Now, it's a review of this event and more on the Eastern Eye tonight. I am Alex Obodo. A program that X-rays the political, social, and economic developments around us. Joining me tonight is also Nnadiume of Awforkansi. He's a constitutional lawyer, a public affairs analyst, and farmer. I didn't miss the farmer part this time.
Thank you. I
know you are waiting for me.
No, I know. I'm waiting for this time around.
Okay, so let us start from where it all began, because there's no need leaving it for the last. The defection of Enugu State Governor. In fact, it is still the biggest story in Enugu this week. I'm not sure anything has happened in Enugu to overshadow it. What's your take? You were a member of the PDP before you moved over to Labour Party. So what is this like? Is that really the requiem of the PDP in Enugu State, or is it just one of those things?
Well, you see, the choice to move, change political parties is a constitutional right of anybody. But then there is a snag to the whole thing, especially for those who hold public office on the platform of a political party. These have a caveat. It is unlike mine. I don't have any political office I held when I left PDP in 2022. But Peter Mbah is executive governor of Enugu State, and the constitution provides that to vie for any political office, you must be nominated by a political party. And the political party that nominated him is PDP. And the constitution also makes it imperative that you don't need also to leave that political party except where there is division. That division, Supreme Court has interpreted to mean a division, one of national magnitude, not just if two local government chairmen are exchanging blows, then he said there is a division. But the question is whether there is actually a division of national discourse in PDP. There is. Because even at the national level, the weaker faction and the other factions, all of them trying to slug it out with each other. So there is actually a factional, dispute existing in PDP. So then, but now I'm narrowing it down to Peter Mbah as the governor of Enugu State. I think without mincing words, his defection to APC is one of the greatest political miscalculation any political officer that could make. Because even those of us who belong to the obedient movement and the Labour Party, when Peter Mbah came on board, personally, I say it wherever I go, I gave him no chance at all. Because I didn't see him as somebody who is carrying the mandate of the people. But when he got in, like a thunder splash, in a space of 2 years, let us agree, he has a lot of demolitions he has done, which affected the life of a lot of people. Let us also agree that his tax regime is high. But then there are some physical things on the ground that one can justify whatever he says he's doing, because in law we call it res ipsa loquitur. The thing speaks for itself. If you say I built international conference center, you go there, you see international conference center, and it's a money minting kind of industry, that international conference center. If you say I rebuilt hotel presidential, you go there, you see hotel presidential. So it's not something that's on the prototype. It's not AI. So with all those things, whatever little sludge remained in his engine was being cleaned up gradually. And people were trying to forget whether they voted for him or whether they didn't vote for him. So a lot of people were even saying, oh, but this man, if he can do this thing in 2 years, let us give him another chance. So, but all of a sudden, he now threw a wedge on the things that held us together, China Achebe Road, and things fell apart. Why do I say that? The Igbo nation is mercantile in nature, egalitarianly mercantile. We are business oriented. Whether you are a professor in Igbo land, you are a businessman. Whether you are a civil servant, you are a businessman. So being business and being mercantile in nature, we know bad market when we see one. The Igbo man knows that Tinubu is a bad market from day one. That's why they didn't vote for him. The Igbo man knows that Buhari was a bad market from day one. That was why they didn't vote for him. So if you are moving from a place where you have been doing so well, and people have already started applauding you, to a party, unless if you want to leave maybe Afia TV, maybe to NTA, there might be, say, maybe increase in salary or a little bit of job satisfaction that you will get there. Not assuming you are paid 200,000 naira in Afia TV, and now you go to NTA where they will now pay you 60,000 naira. Then you should be taken to the heaven, to a mental home and get examined whether you're actually all right. So Peter Mbah, actually, I don't know whether somebody pressured him into joining APC or whether it is something he thought twice. He's a businessman, and he knows that APC is a bad market, especially for the southeastern region of Nigeria. Those ones who are there either by coercion. You can know, you see, what is his name? David Umahi. He was in PDP, and it was in PDP that he won all his elections before he joined APC. It was only Hope Uzodimma who upstaged what is his name? Emeka Ihedioha, and then carried the Supreme Court verdict to oust Emeka in a judicial coup. So there is no, apart from Rochas Okorocha, who of course was even in PDP before he got into APC. So you find out that where are you going? You are jumping from frying pot into fire. Maybe the rumor mill is making the round, boosted his ego, that the 2027 election has been written and kept in a house somewhere in the United States. So it is left for them to bring it and call the result. So all of them now jumped into the bandwagon. So, but ordinarily, that was a dangerous political miscalculation. It is just like somebody who are prepared, a basin of jollof rice, steaming with, nice aroma, with very plenty of fish and meat on top of it. And the aroma was, captured the entire building of this Afia TV. And everyone were bringing a spoon, people were circling around, to treat themselves to a very nice dish. The man now took a toothpick, went into the toilet, dipped it and placed it on top of that rice. Everybody was scattered. So that's what Peter Mbah had done to himself. That's the simple analogy. So that's how I see it. So it is a political miscalculation. He didn't calculate well. But if votes are to count, like the man who was, because we are still coming to his own, the man who was one who says that election will be so credible that even losers will congratulate the winners. If it comes like that, he might lose the election unless there is no other credible candidate from the senatorial zone that comes from any other political party. He will be so surprised. I mean it. Because people who are defecting are politicians. Voters are not defecting. And voters are not happy. Because they have already started giving credit to Peter Mbah. And there is no way, if you tell Igbo man now, Peter Mbah has aligned with Buhari and Tinubu, whoever will vote for him will think twice. But if you say, well, he's still in PDP, whatever it takes, and going by whatever calculation, he is doing well, averagely, let us say you can give him 55%, people will say, okay, let us hope that by the time he goes to the second term, he will do better. So, but I pray for him, maybe 2027 is still far away. He might discover his error early enough and then retrace. I pray so. But if he doesn't, he has actually committed a political blunder, from my own assessment.
All right. So, I mean, the opinions might be divided, but he adduced some reasons for defecting. He said he needed to move Enugu to the center. So, what do you think a governor in an opposition party would gain if he plugs his state to the center? And what does it mean to plug your state to the center?
You even ask what has he lost being at the periphery, not at the center, for the past 2 years when he became governor. What has he lost? Because he must have lost something which you are going to regain. Because I don't think if the Revenue and Physical Allocation Committee now shares, state allocations meant for every nation of Nigeria, every state of Nigeria, and gives Enugu their own. Somebody will come and say, no, Enugu, don't take your own because you are in PDP. Unless you come to APC because you take your allocation. Nobody does that. Every state gets it based on that land mass or population. So I don't know what he's losing, which you now want to get by affiliating to the center. In any case, the very man they are now affiliating to, remember he was in AD when he was governor of Lagos State, and he was the only person who stood stoutly against Obasanjo when Obasanjo captured the entire Southwest for himself. It was only Tinubu who says he will not join. And he remained in AD until he elapsed his 8 years. And with AD, he also went to the Senate. And with AD, he became whatever he became today. He couldn't, when he now collected this measure and formed the APC. So it was still a combination of AD and the CPC of Buhari that made together, and some other splinter group that joined them to form APC. So I wonder what Peter Mbah is losing as the governor of Enugu State, which his affiliation to the center will give him. That excuse didn't gel with me. It didn't. Because I see not what is he going to get? If you have a ministerial slot, which constitutionally allows every state to have at least 2, is the Tinubu going to shortchange him because he is from PDP state? After all, Tinubu has been coming to Enugu to commission some of his projects, even while he was in PDP.
That's correct, but it wasn't Governor Peter Mbah that nominated the previous minister from Enugu State. So if you're a sitting governor and you're not able to nominate the minister from your state and even have the prerogative of presenting the names of those who will occupy some of the appointments that are available to your state, yes, do you think it's a good place to be?
I think that is even better, because it is only when you go there, not as a crony of the governor, that you know you are going to work for your people. The minister is not going there to serve the governor. The minister is going there to serve the people of his state as a representative of state in that cabinet. You're not the representative of Peter Mbah in the cabinet. So remember, Peter Obi ran a state for 8 years without having a single member of the House of Assembly in his cabinet, and still Anambra became first in a lot of things. So what are we talking about? Unless it is going to be politics of cronies, where you now bring your crony to serve. So whenever you call him from Abuja, answer you. Like we will call Burubura will go. So if that is the kind of crony you want, fine. Maybe he will succeed in that. He will now nominate his own candidates. But still, whatever candidates he nominates will still be subject to approval by the Senate.
All right. So now, since we are talking about defections, let's talk about Douye Diri of Bayelsa State, who announced his defection to the APC, but he's met some resistance. First of all, from his deputy governor, Lawrence Wujakpo, who's saying that he's not defecting to the APC, and even Monday Siriaka Dixon, the senator from Bayelsa State, is also saying that he doesn't know what that is about. So, and even you can see the way he conducts himself in the Senate. He doesn't quite take a few things from the Senate president. What's the situation in Bayelsa State? Why would a governor who's seen off his second term want to defect? He's not really under pressure to renew his mandate. So what was it about, really?
Remember that this state produced a president of Nigeria for 6 years. And that president is in a political party. And that president, either through him or by him, some of the people were nurtured. Just take that from me. But then again, I see the action of the deputy governor as a man of principle. That deputy governor is my man, because this issue of sheepish following of political leaders to whatever political party they go, you can see the mess some people in Enugu State has put in themselves. Check. Remember that the obedient movement produced virtually nearly all the members of the House of Assembly in Enugu. Out of 24, the PDP, what do you call it? The Labour Party had about 14 or thereabout. But remember, all of them, without waiting for a twinkle of an eye, jumped to PDP, back to PDP. Even when they didn't even know that PDP existed before the contested election on the Labour Party. Many people told us to go to court, that there was no division in the Labour Party. We eschewed that and then let them be. Now, Peter Mbah has jumped from PDP to APC. They have now jumped with Peter Mbah from PDP to APC. So their jump now is from Labour to PDP, PDP to APC. Maybe tomorrow, if Tinubu perchance didn't win the election for a second term, and maybe another person comes in, maybe that person is YPP, they will jump from APC to YPP. That is food is really politician kind of. So, but someone like the deputy governor of Bayelsa State is a man of principle. He's a man who has what you call political culture. A man who has what you call, political ideology. I know what I profess. If I'm a Marxist, I'm a Marxist. If I'm a communist, I'm a communist. If I'm a capitalist, I'm a capitalist. I stand by that. That is the kind of politicians Nigeria need as of today. Because that's why they weaponize poverty, so that wherever they go, they tell you to follow. Like what they did in Upper Square 3 days ago. I was able to, as I was driving, I saw two women from my village. I told them, madam, did you book? I said, ask Afia. They told us to come. And they gave no, they said that when we come here, they will give us our money here. Say, okay, go and get your own share of the money. So they didn't come because they were convinced they want to join APC. They came because they were promised that when you come, maybe they give you 2,000 naira, which you use and buy ice fish when you go to cook soup. So these are the kind of people. So they have to weaponize poverty. So that wherever they tell you are going, because if you take 1 naira, you go with us, they will follow them. So that's deputy governor, my car, I don't want my car for him. For the senator, well, that is Diri you are talking about. Well, I don't know Diri so closely. Dixon. I don't know so closely, but I thought he was the governor of that Bayelsa State.
He was a two-time governor of Bayelsa State.
I don't actually know what that very governor is looking for in APC. The truth of the matter is that party or no party, what matters is people doing work for their people. I don't mind words, because somebody also said that he's smelling that Alex Oti will soon join APC. I said, when Alex said to join the APC, when he doesn't join
But as you can see, he's under pressure to do so.
No. I am not stopping anybody who wants to join anything. But what I say is that any person here who joins Tinubu's government as APC, you see, if Tinubu contests normal election in Nigeria under normal circumstances, Alex, and they contest with him, you will win him. Put me anywhere. If Tinubu contests election with you today as president of Nigeria and there's no rigging, tell Nigerians to vote your conscience, definitely you win Tinubu. So what is people running to his party to do? That's what I don't want. Is it running to the party to create the kind of division that they are creating in Nigeria? Because Nigeria is not a country run by different organizations. Nigeria is not run by one government. Maybe Southeast here or Southern Nigeria here we might have a government. But in Northern Nigeria, a lot of local governments are governed spaces. They are now under the control and the management of terrorists and bandits who dictate to the government what they do, and the government obey. So you don't use that kind of, is that where you are running to? Or you are running to where you find a better Nigeria? So I'm so surprised about this announcement, but I know that Tinubu has an agenda of trying to make Nigeria a one-party state in which he might, because I don't think if Tinubu puts an executive bill to the National Assembly today, that he wants to do a one term of 10 years. You know that 10 years now is more than his number of years. The Senate will approve it, because there's no Senate. IPOB is not, that one is not Senate. Any Senate that you bring an application that you want to take a loan from so and so organization, you will say what they are going to do with the loan, and before you know it, the eyes will have it. Even when there is supposed to be a 2/3 majority by number of vote counts, he used voice vote to determine it. And that is not a Senate. Is there anything since Tinubu started that has gone to the Senate that didn't say true? That's what you ask yourself. It's not like this, the Senate of Ken Nawani that truncated Obasanjo's third tenure. You know, it was Ken that truncated it because Obasanjo actually wanted to go for a third tenure. You know, that's the problem of African leaders. But Ken didn't want to oppose it. He threw it open to his members. And you know they have been giving Ghana must go load of money. So what he did was to invite all national televisions, live broadcast. Whenever you want to vote, you raise up your hand, say why you are voting for a third tenor, and say your constituency, so that your people will see you. He not make a man that will say don't do this. So that was a very perfect strategy. Everybody will put down his hand. Nobody want to show himself to reward as approving of a third tenor, no matter the amount of quantity of money given to you under your lock. So that third term bid failed. It was not like the Senate of Pius Ayim. It was like the Senate of Saraki. When Buhari's first tenure, it was a rough battle. And that was why Buhari sat up even. Otherwise, in the first tenure of Buhari's this thing, it was rough. They will bring one thing, they will do it the other way. So you tell you what to do, and because that's why the Senate is there. But not this one. This is the worst Senate Nigeria has ever gotten. Since 1999 to date, there's no Senate that has been as bad as Akpabio's Senate.
All right. So we'll take a break at this point. When we return, we'll talk about Nnamdi Kanu's state of health and the decision by the court that the trial will continue, that is fit enough for the trial. Stay with us. You're welcome back to The Eastern Eye here on Afia TV, a program that x-rays the political, social, and economic developments around us. I still have in the studio also Nnadiume of Awforkansi. My name is Alex Obodo. Let's talk about Nnamdi Kanu now. Two things. The trial judge is saying that from the records, from the tests, the examination of the Nigerian Medical Association, that his health condition is not life-threatening. That's how they put it, that he can indeed stand trial. The second thing, that there's a planned protest for 20th of October, 2025, but we're seeing that the federal government has obtained a court order stopping the protesters from holding that protest in Abuja. Two things now. With all the saga about his state of health, how do you respond to it and how they've handled it should be examined? And Aloy Ejimako was disputing the process of how they obtained the medical examination. He said that he doesn't know where they got the clean bill of health from.
Well, you see, I said it in a lot. I've said it in a lot of fora that Nnamdi Kanu is not being prosecuted; he's being persecuted, and his persecution is one that is so glaring that even when you are not a lawyer, you know that this man is being persecuted, not being prosecuted. And the irony of the whole thing is that the judiciary is lending their voice to the persecution. You see, elementary question is, does a health condition need to be life-threatening before he's allowed to take medical treatment? So if maybe we are not in the last stage of cancer, you can't take chemotherapy. That's what they are saying. Until you have been diagnosed of, signs of cancer, and you are told to start the chemotherapy enough so that you can stop it from spreading. And they say, no, let it get to the last stage when it becomes life-threatening. You see, Justice Omotosho has just two choices before him. He's a young man who ordinarily have a lot of future ahead of him. It is left for him to write his name either in gold or in infamy. Because what you do as a judge is a human being. Judge sitting over any case is a human being. And what you do in everything is, first of all, dictated by law, and also your conscience, because you are a human being. Now, somebody said, I am sick. Alex, you are not the one that is sick. Somebody complained that he's sick. Now, you now want to know whether he's sick actually. Because other person say, no, he can't be sick. Maybe because even things, rocks that are built by man, sometimes expire. Now, somebody created by God that can slump at any minute and die, told you, I am feeling somehow, I am sick. Whether it is right or wrong, let it be for him. The important thing is that if he's undergoing trial, you take him to a place where there will be enough security to ensure he takes the medical treatment and comes for his trial. Because it is somebody who is alive that takes trial. If you are not alive, do you take trial in the grave? Once you go in criminal matter, the crime goes with you. So, but what I suspect is that I think there is another hand somewhere. Remember, a federal high court has actually discharged this in Nnamdi Kanu. They went on appeal in that very discharge. The Court of Appeal ruled against the discharge and said he should face trial. They went to Supreme Court. Supreme Court agreed that the rendition from Kenya was unlawful, but nonetheless that cannot stop whatever charge that the prosecution is bringing against Nnamdi Kanu. If you say somebody's rendition was unlawful, if the beginning, what they call in logic, the premise is faulty, the conclusion certainly has to be faulty. So that's why they are dilly-dallying with that very trial. So you find out that the man is no more being. That's why it is attracting a lot of international attention now. A lot. If you have been following what's been happening, the world has now become a global village. With the internet, the digital age, and the telephone and the internet space, you find out that everything that happens in the US today replicates here in Nigeria. And the Nigerian government is also playing complicit. That's why I said it's persecution. Nnamdi Kanu, without going to the merits or demerits of what he is being tried for, has been discharged during the time with treasonable felony. Alex, we saw bandits and terrorists coming to negotiate with the federal government, fully armed in military camouflage. If you put a military cap on Alex and walk across Central Bank here and the IBCZ, they'll jump down from their vehicle, take it out from your head and say, who are you? But look at what happened in Katsina and Zamfara. They came there in full military camouflage. Now, you see soldiers taking selfie with them. So they have now become celebrities. Bandits I'm talking about. And they will give federal government condition. Now, the other man who said, the condition of my people is so poor, and it is like you allow us to belong or you allow us to be out. So they now clamped him in detention for saying what he feels is his right to, take his opinion and associate with whomever he likes. But that's without prejudice to the trial. Whatever shenanigan they want to go, what I said is what I maintained. Omotosho, being a young man, has two choices. Either to write his name in the dictionary of infamy or cast his name in gold. Because I see no reason why he should order for Nigerian Medical Association to go and inspect the health condition of Nnamdi Kanu and then accept a medical report from the prosecution. It is wrong in law. If you have made an order to an organization, that organization will come, get into the witness box, tender the document you ordered, and serve it on all the parties, including the prosecution. Because why he ordered Nigerian Medical Association was because he wanted a neutral person. Now, why is he now accepting the medical report from the person prosecuting Nnamdi Kanu? Don't you see where I tend to agree with him legally? Because as a lawyer, you should know that when there's something we call document emanating from proper custody. So how did the prosecution get across? This is an order of court. Somebody says, my client is sick. The other person, no, he's not sick. They start arguing over it. Court now said, okay, no problem. We will know whether he's sick or not. The only authorized body in Nigeria is the Nigerian Medical Association. I ordered the Nigerian Medical Association, Abuja branch, for instance, to go and check the health record of Nnamdi Kanu and report back to me. So maybe they have gone to check based on the court order. Now brought their report. Why should they now give the report to the prosecutor, who is now prosecuting Nnamdi? And that lawyer, Jimako, is arguing that they don't even know where they cook the report from, that they couldn't have come from Nigerian Medical Association. So that is why I said the judge knows what he's doing. Ordinarily, he shouldn't have accepted the thing from the prosecution. He couldn't also accept it from Aloy Ejimak. He should accept it from the people he had directed. That's the Nigerian Medical Association. They have representatives everywhere. They can send one person, go and tender this document which you prepared, serve it on all the parties. And serve it enough so that if we now have to challenge it anywhere, we challenge it or make comparison. So, but they didn't do it that way. That's why I say the man is now being persecuted and the judiciary is getting complicit gradually. Because judges must have to stand in their ground. They must be dominant to notice their court. They are in control of that court. They are the Lord of, that's why they are called my Lord. Because they have the power of life and death.
So, there's supposed to be a protest spearheaded by Moyele Sowore and a few other people for the 20th of October in Abuja, but we are hearing that there's been a court injunction asking them not to protest around Abuja.
Well,
expected, isn't it?
Well, you see, the issue is that, like I said, gradually
they don't want IPOB close to the capital.
No, the issue is that Nigerian judiciary is actually getting complicit in a lot of the criminal acts of this very regime. You see, one of the greatest problems on earth is to defend an APC government, especially at the federal government level. Defending Buhari made Lai Mohammed one of the greatest sinners of Nigeria. And immediately Buhari left office, the man disappeared. Have you ever heard of Lai Mohammed again since Buhari left office? He never doesn't come to anything again because he even confessed that his grandchildren keep asking, Granddad, are you a liar? Because people tell us that our granddad is a liar. Because the man now says one thing and that thing is happening. And that is exactly what's happening with this Tinubu regime. But my anger is that they are dragging institutions of state into their infamy. Institutions of state should be neutral. The judiciary is an arm of government. It doesn't work on that Tinubu. It's not the legal unit of the Alfasoro. So you must have to stand their ground. How can you tell people not to aid their views by peaceful protest? It's not done. There are orders you make. You know that the order you make, you might also make it in vain. Because even the ones that were given to the federal government, they have not obeyed it. Whoever must come to equity must come with clean hands. The first order the very Court of Appeal made discharging Nnamdi Kanu, did they obey that? Because once court discharges you, and they keep you 1 second after that discharge, you can claim damages. But they still kept in Nnamdi, said they are going on appeal. They never filed even notice of appeal. They kept him for days before they filed notice of appeal and then perfected the appeal and went. So you now think they want people to obey the order not to protest. And remember Tinubu, who is at the helm of the government now, is a product of protest. Did you forget 2012 for Occupy Nigeria? He led it, sponsored it, and made sure that they shut down Lagos.
A lot of people believe that particular protest was one of the things that destabilized Jonathan's stay as the president.
It was. With due respect, it was. Because Jonathan had to capsize. Remember, he has already moved fuel for a 7 to 97 naira. But after the protest, he went back. But the same fuel that you protested moving from 97 to 7 to 97 naira is now what is now sold for 1,000 plus almost. And people are buying. And those people who made that protest are still alive. And they're no more speaking.
Yeah.
The same people who told Jonathan that pardoning Alamese is a criminal. Festus Keyamo and Wole Soyinka, they are still alive today. Tinubu has now pardoned about 70 drug barons that are convicted, including people who are convicted for murder cases. So you'll be surprised that the same people who are actually angling for what do you call it? The Jonathan's regime. And the same people who are now President Tinubu, who has now done worse things than Jonathan did in those days. So you see, this country needs a lot of brain reset. All of us, not even one person, all of us.
So what then becomes of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Because it's looking like this is a trial with no end. Do you think that Nnamdi Kanu's trial will end one day? Or do you think that this is a ploy to keep him there for as long as possible?
We need a political solution to the problem. Like I align myself with P2B's submission. Bring everybody who is agitating to the round table and let's ask them what is their problem. This carry going on in the Federal High Court in Abuja, it's just a mere shenanigan. What stops you bringing the young man to a round table? If you have brought terrorists to a round table, you are negotiating with them, you are pardoning them, you are repenting, and you are integrating them into the army and the police. And then now because you don't want to bring him, you want to try his own. That's why I say one country, two laws, two individuals, one obeying law, one not obeying law. Now I give you an example. Now this is just remove this my facing cap, put military barrette, move to in front of Central Bank there. I know whether any soldier and motorbike will not stop. And they put that thing in her head, are you a soldier? But they went to a meeting with bandits. The Nigerian Army High Command was seeing them. After discussion, some soldiers were taking selfies with bandits. So, and they now want to keep Nnamdi on trial. Igbo did the agitation in the way where he was looking for Douye Republic. He even went to the United Nations to present a paper. The army raided his house. They had a real confrontation with the army before he ran into Cotonou. So when Tinubu took over, he came back. And they said they'll try him for treasonable felony. Where is the Igbo trial going on now? Igbo trial going on. Alex, where is Igbo being tried today? Igbo has been left off the hook to go and continue with whatever followership he has. They had negotiated. The other man who was talking about Arewa Republic in the north, who I think it was belongs to Mietiala, he was also being tried, but his own has gotten to advanced stage. All of a sudden, the same Tinubu government here came and removed the trial and set the man free. Now, remember the ones, the official pardon he granted just a few days ago. Check how many people that were given life sentence, how many people that were condemned to death, how many people are drug barons that were set free. And now you feel that Nnamdi Kanu's own should be one to go on trial. That is one nation, two laws, one nation, two different sets of citizens. So the citizens of Nnamdi Kanu is not the rightful citizen. And the people could even sacrifice as much as taking a private jet to Kenya to rendition Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya to Nigeria for trial, illegally. So, but what I still say is that if this government doesn't take time, Nnamdi Kanu's trial might do collateral damage, international collateral damage to it. You can see what Trump discussed with Putin. Putin in Russia. You can see the Reverend Father now who went to the United States White House. They gave a press conference with the White House. Now, you can see Little Mokri, who shot himself on the leg when he went and brought international observers, fact-finding observers, came here and shot himself on the leg. Because of all of that, it is only the white man that know him for the first time. Many of us know Little Mokri very well. So, you can also see the international journalists who came to Nigeria and found out what has been happening in virtually all the 36 states and Abuja. So these things, the outside world didn't take these kind of things lightly. Because that's why I said when I was beginning my intro, that the world is not a global village. I have in my little village of Oglog here, our daughter being married to Germany. The German man came here, in my village, and the girl lives in Germany with the husband. In other words, the Awadiana is now in Germany. Now, if he comes to Nigeria and there's a systematic elimination of the Igbo race and it affects him, you think his German father will keep quiet? That's why he don't throw stone inside the market. You never know who is going to hurt him. So what the federal government doing is going to cost the federal government a lot of international disclaimer. Just go and note it, because the world has actually begun to listen. And the people who advise Tinubu, like I did, and because my own advice in public sphere like this, I told him the only thing you have to do in this planned protest is to preempt the protesters by releasing Nnamdi Kanu maybe yesterday, Thursday, or today, Friday. If he preempts them, you know he has deflated everybody. Nnamdi Kanu has been released. Nnamdi Kanu, go and see your family. Come back to Asoro on Friday, let us talk. I give you 1 week. And you see the man come back. Because he has been given state pardon. Don't worry, we'll go arrest. I think we'll go arrest. But this one of first thing they did was first of all to go and garner some gullible Igbo youths to go to Abuja yesterday and today to stage a counter protest that IPOB caused the death of their brother and brother. Somebody from Mbah was giving a press. I saw the thing. So they don't want to get, what do you call it? The court order will not stop the counter protest, but will stop the protest. You can see the kind of things they shoot themselves in the leg when the world is watching them. That's kind of things you don't do these days because the world is now a global village. You might be here, somebody wearing eyeglasses will be filming what you are doing. You think he's wearing just a fashionable glass, not knowing that he's wearing a camera. Tomorrow you will see yourself on internet. So it is no more uhuru for African leaders. And what is happening in other parts of the world should have taught our leaders a lesson. What happened in Nepal? What happened in Madagascar? What is happening now in Cameroon? These things are things that are pointers to what might erupt in Nigeria. In the process of suppressing these young men, showing them that they have no future. Alex, one thing that pains me about the kind of government we operate here, it's not about they are punishing Nnamdi Kanu, but what they are doing to Nnamdi Kanu is what they are doing to a greater number of Nigerian youths. They have stolen their jobs, kept the money for the industries. In their various foreign bank accounts, the youths have no job. They have stolen their education. Unless your father is well connected today, you can't get good education in Nigeria. You go to the universities, there are no equipment to teach the students. The private universities are taking over. But how many people, the cheapest private university is where you pay $500,000 in a semester. So how many people can afford that? Now, go to, today, I nearly shedded it here this afternoon. I was driving up from Federal High Court where I went this morning. On coming up to Bisala Road by that New Haven Junction, I saw a group of young boys. In fact, the oldest of them should be about 14, between 14 and 8 years. We were in a traffic light, waiting for the thing to go green. And these boys were begging us for money. I asked them, what are you doing here? Are you sick? They said, no, sir. So they were putting their hand in their mouth, like they want something to eat. They say, what? So it has gotten to this level. It's no more people with physical challenges now begging for money, but everybody, the young boys between ages 8 and 14 in open street. That is how the family will have gone. Then you open the internet, you see corpses of African children in the Sahara Desert trying to cross to Europe for greener pasture. The same Europe that takes their resources to build their place from us here in Africa. You go to the Mediterranean Sea, they're drowned in thousands. You'll be here thinking that your brother is in Germany. When their brother is already a carcass in the Mediterranean Sea. And it is because of what? Bad governance. Alex, I was so fortunate to see a small part of good Nigeria during Gowon when I was in secondary school. That time, if you go to America to study at the university, people see you as someone who is not intelligent. Because here, universities are here, you graduate, the day you are passing out from your camp, is the day they will schedule interview. Those who work in companies, those who work in state government institutions, those who work in federal government, you go to interviews and people who even opt to teach, graduates who opted to be teachers in secondary school, as you are moving out, check the records. From 1975 when I entered secondary school, 1980 when I left secondary school, most of our teachers who are graduates come into the classroom with a SR 544, brand new. They give you car loan as you are moving into the classroom. And that's the same thing they encourage. Once you are a graduate, as you are working, as you are moving in, they give you car loan and you're comfortable. So that was good Nigeria then. But it was also mismanaged by our leaders because that money that accrued to them, they could have been invested. Even the ones they invested, they have all destroyed them. So what is happening to them? The fellow people are saying that what happened to me when the mother's house was when the character was destroyed and the mother was thrown away from her. He said, what happened to me? I'm coming, let me round up. What happened to me can happen to anybody else. That the answer is to protect the basic human rights of every citizen. That the whole nation is on trial. We thought because they don't smoke ganja. That's why I'm talking like that. Today, that war they conquest every day in Nigeria.
That's right. And that's a good place to end it. I have to thank you so much. Also, Nnadiume, Awforkansi, constitutional lawyer, and of course, public affairs analyst. Not forgetting he's a farmer too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your insights.
Thank you, Alex, for having me this evening.
Program.
A very robust outing.
Absolutely. And that's the Eastern Eye for today and for this week. We'll be back on Monday. My name is Alex Obodo. Good night.